So let me go ahead and get started. Okay. The main piece of just the introductions is, so many of you here tonight have contributed to what I'm going to call it the Jakob Trails Fund, okay, which we put together. You know, I talked to Ellie, and one of the things we thought we could do to honor Jakob's legacy was to get his canal guide printed. Absolutely amazing piece of work for those who have seen it. There's a copy over here. It's out of print. Okay. It's not only an amazing piece of work by Jakob, it's an amazing piece of work by all the contributors, all the authors. Okay, I'm very proud that 3 of the authors are here tonight. That's out of 4, that's just amazing. But thanks to the generosity of 67 people. So I'm going to do this part of the presentation first. Okay. We had 67 people contribute as Jakob's Trail Friends. I thought we had raised $5,540. Okay. I'm now finding out we're probably up to $5,600, $5,700. Okay, because more money seems to like be magically appearing still. Okay. But there were a couple goals here. The goal of the long distance trail crew, of which Jakob and Helly are part of our trail crew family, was a minimum of $1,000. And I can say the crew far exceeded that. And yeah, this is a tough night for me too, guys. Okay. Along with the crew, the 67 donors, you know, as I said, $5,700. We were hoping to raise $3,000 to get a start on the book. Okay, knowing the Canal Society, I talked to Joe at length. They would help support this. Their members would help support it. The board would help support it. We wanted to make it happen. We knew we needed at least $4,500 for a small printing. We really wanted to hit $5,000. So we didn't just hit it. We hit it out of the ballpark. Okay, so again, I really want to thank everybody. The generosity, the response from everybody has just been amazing. So the Canal Society, if you could come forward along with the members of the Canal Society. We left a little bit of an opening for you. I don't need to be in this picture. Okay, these are the people that really count. Okay, we got one more coming.
We got two more.
Two more coming. Okay. We got Bob coming. Bob was a really good, 50s vintage name. Okay? All right. So, on behalf of Jakob's Trails Friends, represented by so many people in the room, okay, I'd like to, present this check to the Canal Society on our behalf for the rewriting and republishing of Jakob's and others' Canal book. Okay. On the back of the check are 67 donors, which, by the way, increased to 68 donors tonight. Okay. So all the names are in here. I'd like to get a picture with Joe and Ellie together, and then the rest of the Canal Society. So Andy, do you want to start, or Hank and Drew, or Joe? Actually, you're up here. You should say whatever you want to say.
We at the Canal Society are very impressed with the love for Jakob. We thought we knew him. He was a member of our organization, but we had no idea how loved he was and how many people's lives that he affected. And so we are very honored to be here, to be accepting this on behalf of the project, publishing Jakob's book. And we thank you all.
And I think everybody also. Wonderful, wonderful.
Hank and Drew, do you guys want to say a few words? Yeah.
So Jacob, we know that Jacob had friends in a lot of different circles, but he spent a lot of time in the gunks doing trail work where Drew and I worked.
That's an understatement.
He worked on the Woolworthing rail trail quite a bit. He worked on all of the trails around the gunks in Minnewaska. And I think, the thing that I remember, he was up working not too long ago up at Sam's Point on a work day, and he was kind of out on his own with his gas-powered weed whacker, and the trail crew worked long and hard and knocked off at the end of a long weekend. And, just like Jacob, he was just out there after everybody else was done. He had some kind of a magical weed whacker that never ran out of gas. But, and the more I know about him, the more I realize how many different things he was involved in, how many different interests he had, and just a great guy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed working with Jacob for just about a year that I worked with him on trails. Got to do a lot of work with him this summer, and it was just incredible being around him, the energy and the amount of work we were able to get done when he was there. It was really great. So.
Thank you.
So in other words, neither Jacob nor his tools ever ran out of gas. Andy, you're on.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, we didn't forget about you, Andy.
All right.
Us alternate trail guys aren't going to forget about you.
Yeah. Saying he had energy is an understatement. He'd get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning in Jersey and drive all the way up to the Catskills, and we'd go into the woods and work until almost dark, and we'd start to go out to dark, but no, we'd stop at the fire tower and go up to the top and take pictures of the sunset, and then 3 miles out of the woods. But I got to know Jacob because I was hiking the Lone Path, and I sent an email with a question, and I was invited to a work trip. that was our first. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. But we really became really good friends the more and more we got involved, and every wild idea I had, he dove right into. And somehow I convinced him that we should manage the entire Long Path instead of just the Long Path South, and make it a better trail. And we slept in tents along the trail. We slept in cars along the trail. Got motel rooms when it was cold, but we made it a better trail. And I'm just gonna leave it that I'm really gonna miss him. Still, right now, sometimes, some days I want to go home. Can't do that yet, but I think that's enough for me.
You can always call me,
I just want to throw in a couple comments about Andy and Jacob and the Long Path. So as many of you know, they spearheaded the effort to do a 9-mile relocation outside of Phoenicia. It was a 3-year construction project. It was, I don't know how many years in the making, but I was involved in the Long Path in the 60s, and we talked about this relocation in the 60s, okay? It didn't happen for many reasons, but it would not have happened without Andy and Jacob. The other part Andy didn't tell you about was the summer camps on the trail, okay? So there's a couple stories there, but the most important one was that Helly was the cook for the summer camps. Okay, so we couldn't have done without her. Okay, and I'll probably get it backwards, but Jacob did have some crazy ideas, and they dug the latrine for the camp on, I think it was Jacob's birthday, and built it on their wedding anniversary, or the other way around.
49th anniversary.
Digging the latrine for the summer camp. Right? So that is truly dedication to this kind of sacrifices, guys. Okay, Chris, you wanted to say something from the crew?
Yeah, I've known Jacob since since the fall of 2011. That's when the long distance trails crew started, and I learned that I was going to be involved with the Appalachian Trail and the Long Path. And since then, Jacob has been friend, mentor, you name it. He's out there. We worked together. We scouted together. We did a lot of the crew. He brought a lot of people to our crew that have then become permanent members. Jacob was really terrific. And the only other thing I was going to mention, but Bob already mentioned, was that he had this great summer work trip. 4 weeks we spent up there, and well, we couldn't have done it without Jacob and Helly taking care of us and allowed the rest of us to just concentrate on the work. We really appreciated both of your efforts on that. It's really helpful. Jacob will really be missed. We worked with him right up to the last weekend before he passed on.
He was calling people when he went to the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Right, apologizing that he wasn't working that day.
Yep.
Anyway, he will be missed.
You know, Bob,
We're up the 9-mile trail, right? Well, the first rain day that we had, nobody wanted to work, so they all left. Me and Jacob scouted the trail. We walked 12 miles over 4 mountains. That's the kind of guy he is.
So Andy, you're trying to tell us you're as sick as the rest of us, right?
Yes, he definitely was.
We all,
He was never happier.
you know, Joe and the Canal Society, who didn't already know, are learning that we all have this illness, and I know a lot of you folks have a very similar illness. It's just related to canals and not trails.
I'm a multi-diseased person. We had our own special disease, you know, that we share among ourselves, but now we understand that you suffer from a similar disease, but one of your own.
We do, and Jacob had, you know, both of them.
Yes, both.
Because once you get canal pox, there's no cure.
So,
You sure would never take the easy way out, man. I went on a scouting trip with him for doing a relo of Long Path. In Alaska, kind of up around Sam's Point area. It was wet and sluggy, and I kept having to take my shoes off to wring my socks out and put them on again. And it was getting late, and we were going up over High Point, and we could have gone down and out, but I think this is Smiley Road, to get out, but nope, Jacob had to scout the entire new relocation. We were kind of lost. You know, it was getting dark, and I kept saying, couldn't we just get out this way and come down the other way, you know, later? And nope, Jacob was determined, and we got out okay. But he just wouldn't even consider it. This was what we had set out to do, and this was what we were gonna do. Damn the consequences. Amazing.
And the funny part is he always fell on his feet. He never,
Yeah,
it's like a cat. He always
It
did
worked out. I mean, I was very dubious. I thought, we're never gonna get out of here.
Except the last week.
I thought he was very brave. I was on a work crew trip with him one day. The day started out sunny, blue skies. We were having some fun up on the Worksboro Ridge, and you know we had all of our metal tools and our clippers. And we spent a number of hours out there, and then the sky started to darken. So we said, well, we better call it a day and head back. And as we're on our way back, you know the lightning and the thunder's going, and here we are, 2 miles away from the car. We got our metal tools, and I turned and I said to him, I said, Jacob, it's kind of dangerous. Do you think we should lay our tools down and come back for them later? And he said, after a thoughtful pause, he said, that's a good question. That's like it never occurred to him that you might do that. So he was definitely very brave.